All right. Hey, shalom, everybody. Rabbi Derek here, Beth Messiah Synagogue, back again. Missed the past couple of days. Sorry about that. Wasn't feeling so great. But I'm back in full health, and we're continuing to count the Omer, of course, connecting Passover to Shavuot. Today is the 33rd day of the Omer, which is 4 weeks and 5 days. In some rabbinic or mystic forms of Judaism, today is a special day that's called Lag BaOmer. Lag refers to a number. So the Lamed Gimel, Lag, Lamed has the numerical value of 30, and Gimel has a numerical value of 3. So Lamed Gimel 33, 33rd day of the Omer. And it's supposed to be a commemoration of when an ancient rabbi from the 2nd century, his name was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, nicknamed the Rashbi. This was supposed to be when he revealed the supposed deep mystic secrets that later made up what is called the Zohar, which is a mystic seminal book within Kabbalah or Jewish mysticism. Shimon Bar Yochai lived, like I said, in the 2nd century, but the writing of the book wasn't until the 13th century. It showed up much, much later. It's important to note that the Zohar and Kabbalah in general is not recognized as legitimate within Messianic Judaism or by followers of Yeshua in general. However, if you have seen celebrations of Lag BaOmer, probably in some traditional synagogues, they might have bonfires and other very, just like fun things. It's meant to be a celebratory day. And, things like this, we don't need to be afraid of. If anything, these are days for us as believers in Yeshua. It's a time for us to intercede on behalf of Jewish people, that their eyes would be open to the truth that Yeshua is the Messiah, that mysticism isn't the answer. Trying to be a tzaddik, a righteous one based on one's own actions, is not the answer. Trying to dig up the deep spiritual mystic truths of the universe essentially through magic, that's not the answer. The answer is coming to the one who the truth, the word of God, has always been about. And interestingly enough, let's take a look at Matthew chapter 17, and it's going to show us just that. Matthew 17, starting in verse 1. It says, 6 days later, Yeshua took with him Peter and James and his brother John and led them up on a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them. And his visage, the way he looked, his appearance changed. And his face shone like the sun, and his garments became as white as light. And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, talking with him. So there's Yeshua, Moses, and Elijah. And Peter responded and said to Yeshua, Lord, it's good that we're here. If you want, I'll make 3 tabernacles here. One for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. And while he was still speaking, Peter was still speaking, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice from the cloud said, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. And when the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground and were terrified. And Yeshua came to them and he touched them. He said, Get up, don't be afraid. And raising their eyes, they saw no one except Yeshua himself alone. Now there's quite a lot here that can be dug up out of this passage, but it's interesting that of all of the people from biblical history to show up, we have Moses and Elijah on the mountain with Yeshua. Moses, of course, being a picture of the Torah, right? The 5 primary books of the Tanakh, of the Hebrew Scriptures. And then, of course, we have Elijah, who represents the prophets. So with the Torah and the prophets together, it's as if the entirety of the Hebrew Scriptures, the revealed truth that God gave to his people Israel, was now meeting with and there on the mountain with Yeshua, who is shown in his glory, showing to us symbolically, of course, that all of the Scriptures, all of the revealed truth that God has given us, given to his people Israel, all of it was leading to and in honor of the Messiah who was to come. And here he is, Yeshua, in all his glory. And then, of course, as the disciples were terrified and Yeshua calmed them down when they opened their eyes, it says Yeshua was there alone, as if Moses and Elijah, the Torah and the prophets had led the way to Yeshua and his ministry, to what he eventually would do in his death, burial, resurrection, and his ascension. He would defeat death, and he would unify man with God once again by faith. You know, that bond was broken since Adam, and God promised Messiah. And all throughout the scriptures, he revealed his plan to do so by sending us Messiah, who would die on our behalf, that we could be reconciled to the Father. That's what we see here. So the Hebrew scriptures has been pointing us since day one, well, since the fall, has been pointing us towards Messiah. And here he is. He's been revealed to his people Israel and to the entire world. So we have no need for mysticism. We have no need for magic and conjuring of our own deep truths. God has revealed the ultimate truth to us. Messiah has come, and we can be made new in him. Hope you're encouraged with that today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Shalom, everyone.